Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge des Laufenden Entdecken Podcasts, dem österreichischen Laufpodcast, den ihr schätzen und lieben gelernt habt, sonst würde der nicht noch immer da sein. Deshalb Ohren gespitzt, Augen auf, schaut auf unsere Social-Media-Kanäle, das ist jetzt der TikTok und Instagram und Facebook und weiß der Geier, wo ihr auch uns sonst noch finden könnt. Einfach hinschauen, folgen, liken, Sterne geben, Rezessionen schreiben, uns auf Patreon und Steady vielleicht den einen oder anderen Euro zuwerfen, dann kriegt ihr das Ganze auch in werbefrei. Wenn ihr das nicht macht, dann kann es passieren, dass ihr heute ein bisschen Werbung kriegt. Und ansonsten wisst ihr, wo ihr uns findet. Es gibt eine Webseite. Ihr könnt uns auf unseren Hausbergen auch abpassen und persönlich anquatschen. Wir freuen uns auch, wenn wir Feedback kriegen oder wenn ihr uns einfach bei einem Wettkampf zur Seite nehmt. Macht uns immer viel Freude und Spaß und wir wissen dann auch wieder für wen wir das machen, dass wir es nicht nur ins Blaue oder ins Schwarze reden. Wir haben dann auch immer wieder mal Gäste bei uns, das habt ihr ja schon mitbekommen. Und wir sind normalerweise der Florian und ich. Der Florian ist leider heute nicht da, aber das macht nichts. Ich habe mir nämlich jemand anderen zu mir geholt wieder. Und zwar dieses Mal eine große Premiere. Wir werden das Ganze jetzt dann auf Englisch wechseln, weil wir dürfen das erste Mal jemanden aus Schweden begrüßen. Und deswegen wechsle ich jetzt auf Englisch. So, now, first time in English, and I like to introduce the former track and field runner and ski-mo racer and now elite trail runner and co-founder of Moonvalley, Ida Nilson. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to join you. Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's a premiere to us to have a podcast in English. So let's see what comes up in the next an hour. You said yes to do this podcast. Why? What was your first thing come into mind when you heard about this?
No, I think it's for me. It's really fun to talk about Moonvalley, and I don't mind talking about if it's me either. And about running, it's always fun to talk about running and also food and nutrition. So it's a lot of fun. I think I've mostly been on Swedish and some American podcasts, like one German podcast actually, like a few weeks ago. So it's really nice to join you.
It's great for us because you're a worldwide known elite trail runner, and it's great to have you here because you have there's a long history in running in your life. I think a whole of your life is running because you started with track and field in your teens. Maybe?
Yeah, even early. Like I started as a kid with running and track. But then actually I had a break in my life where I didn't run at all and thought I was like completely done with elite running and actually all kind of running. I couldn't even go for a small jog. So I think it was 2009 I got a hip injury, and then 2010 when it didn't heal well I decided to stop, and until 2015, 5 years there, I was not in any elite sport. I was just traveling, working, doing normal activity. I still enjoy being in nature, and I could hike and I could ski and do some other stuff, but it was absolutely not close to any elite training or that I thought I was coming back or anything. So I thought I was a part that was done in my life. So now I kind of got a second chance and a second career here in trail running. So So that's quite amazing how you can start when you're 35 years old. I started skiing then, and I started to trail run then. So that's quite late in life.
Yeah, it's a fun part because you were dominant in Sweden back in the years in I think 2003 or 2005, this kind of stuff. Well, I think on the it's long distance, yeah. 3,000 and 5,000 meters and steeplechase are long distance races in terms of athletics, I think.
It's called I guess long distance, even though I didn't do like marathons and that, but I was better when it started to be longer, like 8 and 1500 was the mid distance was too short for me, like you need much more speed then.
It's always fun because if we talk about ultra trail and something like that, and then we're talking about the former track and field athletes, and so 3,000 meters is long distance. You say, okay, yeah, it's a long distance. But you stopped racing, you stopped running, then you did trail running, you started trail running and started a skimo as well at this time, or was this a later part
No, yeah,
to do skimo?
yeah, it was actually around the same time because I was I've been working some years in the restaurant industry, and I felt a bit tired of that. So I felt like I wanted to be outside more in my job. So it was one outdoor education up in middle of Sweden. Åre is a good mountainous area in Jämtland. So I studied there, and then I started to ski, and also that was around the time when finally like my hip was well again, so I started to run a little bit, and then I mean I had short job as a guide in a tourist station, but quite soon I realized like I was like I like to move by myself more than to go slow with other people. Like it's I love to be in the mountains, and also like I really enjoyed to be an athlete before, and I felt now it's like okay, for me it's like more fun to move quicker than to go really slow. uh, so I think I started around the same time. I did first like a few ski races and also a few trail races in 2015. So it came around the same time there.
Yeah. It's you if we read your CV, it's it looks like you're a real racer. You're a real racing girl. You say, okay, if I'm on the starting line, that's all about being the first at the finish. Is it your mindset, or does it look from the outside like this, and it's quite another thing?
No, I think I'm not like the typical person that like the winner type, you know, the type A who always wants to win in everything they do, and I'm a little bit more slow. Like it's a lot of things in life I don't really care about being the best, but what I like with races, I think that's complete focus and to really push myself to be my best. And for me, then it's racing other people. I had a really hard time, or like big events where it's a certain kind of energy, like both a big event and really good other runners to race against gives me that extra energy to really push myself and focus and be my best. And I'm the one. I would have really hard time to just like, okay, I'm going to do a time trial against myself and try to beat this time. And so I think that's why I enjoy. That's how I can create, like, to become a little bit better than I'm actually is. Like that's why I like the big races and have a goal as well. I think it's a fun way to train, to have a goal and see if I can do it or not.
Mm-hmm. Is there a typical is there something you is there a typical type of races you like special? Is it about a bucket list or about the scenery, or do you like to have a strong and competitive field and to say, okay, I want to go to this or that race because I know there are the best 20 races in the world or whatsoever? Is there a special trigger that hits you?
Yeah, I think it's all those kinds, and it can be different ones. Like it can be some really nice area, like a super small race, but it's such a cool race course and unique place and really nice like race organization. Like that, it can be so nice to do a race, and maybe it's not the most competitive, but you do it for the pleasure of exploring that place. But then also, of course, a really competitive field, like really good other women and women you look up to. Like it could, that's also creates a different, certain kind of energy. And then I think we have these races like Segama and Transvulcania, where it's the crowd and the audience is just amazing. So you want to experience that as well as the course to have that. That you're almost in the stadium the whole time, even though you're in the mountaintop. So I think it's all those kind of parts, and also some races have a really unique history, and then it's really fun to do the race just because it's like, okay, this history, and you have followed it for years, and it's always the same race course maybe, and so I think it's all those types that attracts me in a race.
Yeah, you lived, as far as I know, you lived in Chamonix for 2 or 3 years?
No, actually really short. It was just one winter when I started ski mountaineering, that I felt like I knew the winter was like, or it's a really small sport in Sweden with ski mountaineering, and then I thought like, okay, I want to live one winter down in Chamonix, and I was really lucky. Like I could train with Emily, and she helped me a lot in the beginning, like to learn the sport. And I got to do, like, you so close to all the races there, so I got to do the whole World Cup and a lot of local races, some of the grand courses. So it was, I think, a really good way to just get into the sport, to spend the whole winter there. But then since I was moving around a little bit, and then the year after I moved to Norway, and since then, now 2017, I lived here in Norway.
Yeah. Okay. So you moved to Chamonix not for trail runnings, you moved there for ski mountaineering.
Yes, it was just one winter actually. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because when you, most of us, for most of us, the Chamonix and the UTMB and the races there and the marathon, the Mont Blanc, and so on, you say, okay, the crowd there is so great, and it's the energy is this high, and a lot of runners move there because of the cool training
Yes,
environment.
but at that
You
time,
moved there, but not for this.
no, yeah, because at that time I was totally new. I mean, I had never done any trail race, so I didn't know actually anything about the sport. I don't know if I even knew about like UTMB that much, or so. It was the spring after I did Transvulcania the first time and won the race, and I kept doing international races and tried to learn like the trail running structure, and because I was really new, like I mean, I have been kind of gone from sports. I didn't follow really regular running that much either for some years, but yeah, I felt a little bit stupid in the beginning, because of course growing up with flat running and track and field, like you have also love the sport and the history and follow people. And here I felt like so stupid the first year, like I didn't know people and I didn't know any history, and you just like asking questions all the time, and then you kind of catch up. You start to know a little bit there too.
Kilian, who?
Yeah, I was like,
who's that guy?
kind of like that. Emily, they got a lot of stupid questions in the beginnings.
Do I have to follow this guy, or is it just a one-hit wonder?
No.
You started to trail run and doing ski mountaineering at just at the same time, and you were in the World Cup in ski mountaineering, and I think you were rather you were quite good at this. In the ski mountaineering World Cup. It was the World Cup,
No,
I think.
yeah, no, I wasn't very good. I think
But I'm not into ski mountaineering.
yeah, no, like when you learn, I think downhill skiing that late in life, like 35 years old. I mean, I wasn't
Okay.
even like a normal downhill skier. Like I hadn't done anything in the piste really before, so it was everything new. But I mean, I made it decently, but not like I mean, trail running like quite quickly. I mean, I could win races and like, okay, I can actually live from this. But ski mountaineering is
Yeah.
just a nice training in the winter, and it was really cool to also sorry to be in the national team. We had a good group of people there, like so it was really fun years. But yeah, it was I don't know, I was like right there around 10th positions a few times, like in the World Cup, but yeah, that was my level. I couldn't really become like very good.
And but you started at this year too with trail running, and you were out of the nowhere and top of the league. You were just first in Transvolcania, and you won the Marathon de Mont Blanc. But so the big races, just from the start. Is there a is there a special kind of race you like in terms of let's say the surface or the distance, or because you come from track and field? Do you like more the runnable stuff like a Marathon de Mont Blanc, or is it more yeah, I don't know. If I say Marathon de Mont Blanc or Hamperocken, what's your favorite? Or is there something you are especially good in?
Yeah, I mean, the races I won is usually the more runnable ones, like done well at like you said, Transvulcania, Marathon Mont Blanc, Segama, the North Face 50 miles in US before, and those types of races suits me better. Then, like, I really enjoy to train in the nature, like here in Norway. But actually, for races, I'm really bad at like the Norwegian races or like that Hamperock. I have never done Tromsø, but it's yeah, I'm not fast in technical terrain like that, especially in downhill. I think I start to be a little bit better uphill, but even steep uphill, like when you have to power hike, I'm better when it's runnable. Yeah, I'm not a really technical sky race person at all.
Okay. Because I looked at your ITRA page, and there are a lot of races are between, let's say, 30 and 80 kilometers. So all of this looks like racing, because the long races are more like yeah, adventure maybe. If you have a 100-mile race or a 250 kilometer race, that I think that the spirit changes at some point. And the 40-kilometer race is really women versus women or man versus man, a race where every second counts. Is this the type or the kind of race you like best?
I think for me was that because I started, like, usually when in my age people do longer races, but I started so late, and then when I started I thought it's long with an 80k, 100k, like coming from travel, when I thought like marathon is like the end station. It's I thought those distances were long for a few years, and then when I started to feel it's like, okay, I feel I can nail 80k and 100k maybe, and then I got this foot injury. It took like a really long time to solve, 2019. So I had a surgery, so I missed both like 19 and 20, and then
No, you don't miss a lot of races, 20.
no, but it was still like, missed a lot of training, and I didn't run at all for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then the next summer I could almost just run uphill, so I did mainly like short uphill races in Norway because that was what I can handle. So then again, it was really long for me to just do a mountain marathon, like, in 4 or 5 hours. It's quite a long running time when you can run very little.
Yeah.
And now last year it was the same a little bit. It's like COVID destroyed the whole summer, so it's like I tried CCC and I couldn't finish like 100k because I was destroyed my body. And then finally, I ran well in the World Championships in Thailand and finished an 80k. So now 100. So I think now I actually hoping to do a 100-miler. I will do another try for a golden ticket to the Western States. So maybe this summer will be a longer one. But I think I could definitely try longer races. I think I never run a race through a whole night. So eventually I want to try that. So it's like a 24-hour race, a long 100-miler as well. But I think now it was just so many years that I didn't run much, and it took time again to build up, and because it is long to be running for so long time, and you need to have some consistent training then.
So you want to do longer races. It just takes time to get there.
Yes, but I think I want to do shorter as well. I like the short races. I don't think I'm a person is like, okay, I just do short, I just do long, and I move up, and now I will just do 100-milers. And I really think it's nice to even do shorter than marathon. Like, it's nice to do a 10k road race or a 21k. Like, I think you can do everything as long as you have some blocks and train for it. Of course, I won't be faster, but I think you can actually keep some decent speed also, like if you keep training some intervals. And I'm more about like I said, okay, I want to do this race because that race attracts me. It's not like the distance that attracts me. It's like a certain race.
Yeah.
So that could be depending on the distance.
Okay. So you have let's say a little bucket list where say, okay, I want to do the Western States sometime, and I want to do maybe the UTMB in 2 or 3 years or whatsoever.
Yes, I think it would be.
I like the race, the energy,
Yeah, totally. It's nice to have done, I think, all the big races, but then we'll see if that happens or not. But yes, of course.
Yeah. Is there something like a race series something for you, like I don't know, the Golden Trail series or whatsoever? I think there are 2 or 3. I think there is also a what's called from Paul Capel does this race, is the
Yeah, Spartan I
Spartan
have been
race
following now
series,
like
I
for 2
think.
years because those races
Yeah.
fitted better in my calendar and some
Okay.
races I liked.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know about this year. It's a bit, yeah, uncertain now. With I will go again to US end of April and see if I can get top two, and then that will be a
Okay.
big goal for the summer with Western State. But if I don't qualify, then the summer is more open again, and then I will decide
Hmm.
which races I will do.
Yeah, you were in the US in I think in February for the Black
Yes,
Canyon
yes.
100K, and you were fifth, I
Yes,
think.
in then yeah, I tried for the
And it was a real close. It was a real close race.
yeah, I was in there for 80K, but then I really struggled in the end. So yeah, I didn't have it really for 100K. It's yeah, run a little bit too little in the winter here in Norway. It's difficult, and also I had some yeah, hip problems the last couple of weeks leading in, so it wasn't perfect. But I tried my best, and it was fun to be in the mix. And it was like a good race from many women there. So
Yeah, no, it was. I just followed the race, and it was unbelievable how fast this Black Canyon race is. Because if you follow races in the Alps,
yeah,
uh, and there is 100K, like let's say the CCC or whatsoever, uh, and there is the best guys, and I think the
mm.
course record is about 10 hours, I think.
Yeah. Petter had under 10 now, so that's yeah.
Yeah, and Black Canyon, they won with a time from 7 hours 30,
Yeah, but
and
it's not much
the best swimmer.
elevation,
Well,
it's not much. It's not
yeah,
mountains. It's a trail, but still it's a trail. It's a lot of single track and stones and small
yeah,
up and downs and stuff. So it's not just a dirt road, but still, of course, it's much different like than the climbs
yeah.
in the Alps.
Yeah, and you need I think you need a brutal speed, ground speed. You have your base speed, because if it's a sky race or whatever, you can say, I'm a good uphill or downhill technical runner, and in this race you have to do a kilometer split below, what, let's say 4 minutes, because the race is so runnable.
Yeah, totally. It's more yeah, you need those flattish long runs. Which is hard to do here, but I think yeah, I really like the race, and um, my old self, I think, had been like better at it, and now I felt a little bit unprepared in the middle for that type of race. But I actually like it because in Europe, I said like, okay, it's would be nice with more single track, flattish races, because now it's either mountain or everything should be like road races because people want to do time. I kind of miss this. When I grew up, it was a lot of those small, yes, cross country races, but it was actually trail races,
Hmm.
like small, just a single track, small path. And I think those went away a little bit because it got extreme on both ends more. So
Yeah,
I think that way will be nice because then people can have, even though you don't live in the mountains, you have nice forest races or wherever, like to just run on trails. It's nice for
yeah.
most people.
I, I, I think you have this kind of races you have in Germany and the
Yeah, maybe
Netherlands.
yeah, because it's more
On,
flat. Yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah, because it's
yeah.
flat, but you have these trails and you have the
Mm.
woods, where you can do these fast races. And in Austria, it's a bit complicated because there are mountains everywhere.
Yes.
uh, Speaking of Austria and the mountains, you did second place in the World Championships 2022, and the trail long, the 80K. I think it was
Yes.
80K.
Yes.
Um, and now there is the next World Championship, because the last World Championships were rescheduled from 2021, I think, to 2022,
Yeah.
and now the regular World Championships of 2023 in Innsbruck. And do you run there, or is or do you do something else?
No, it's depends on this Western State ticket. Like if if
Okay.
I get it, it will be way too close with the World Championship. But
Okay.
if I can't make it, I will see. I need to see if it's when they need to give the people who's running, because it also needs to be like a selection, and so,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure there if it's too late end of April to decide that or not. If it's not too late and I miss Western State, then that could be a possibility, but I have to check a bit,
Yeah.
because it might be too late to decide then, like.
Yeah. What is the do you know the regularities in Sweden? Because every country has its own selection when they choose and how they choose the people going there. Is there some kind of pre-selection, because you did it last year, so if you can do it, you have your spot? Or
Yeah, like if I had said from the beginning, okay, it's like, oh, I want to focus on it again, I would had the spot
Mhm.
just because, I was top 3, and but
Yeah.
now that had been my thoughts for a long time, that I wanted to do the Western States, and now when they were so
Okay.
close together and I did well in the
Yeah.
last one, I said that already in the fall, that will be my first priority. But now
Okay.
I'm still in this situation when I don't know if it will happen or not. So I will, I don't actually know when they select. I need to check a little bit more when it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the World Championships and the Western States, it's just 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah, you can't do. You
between,
can't do
and
both,
yeah,
and it's different trainings for them as well. So yeah, it's too close. Yeah.
yeah. I hope on the one hand, I hope you make it, and you do the Western States. On the other hand, because we are in Innsbruck as well, I hope you're in Innsbruck. So it's a tough decision.
It's good options, both of them. Like it sounds really. Like, I
Yeah.
think it will be really cool in Innsbruck. Like it seems like a lot of athletes are focusing on it as well this year when it comes in the beginning, and I think it will be
Yeah.
really beautiful and nice courses.
Yeah, yeah. We know the scenery there, and then the races there, and Innsbruck it's like we call it's the Chamonix of Austria, because you have great scenery, great landscape. You have a better infrastructure, because you have an
Yeah,
airport and you have the train, and you have it's so close to Germany and to Italy and to France and to
yeah,
Switzerland. It's just in the heart of the whole area. So I think there will be a lot of good races there, because it's not that far away, like the
yeah,
last
yeah,
championships. Because I heard from some runners that they they thought about running there, and then, so okay, it's in November, and it's the traveling, and I don't know. I focus on this year.
yeah. It comes in the end, and it was a lot. Still, like I think a lot of countries had. Good teams and focused on it, and just
Yeah.
because it's been postponed for so long time, and I think it was also really successful to have that mountain running and the trail running together for the first time.
Yeah.
And that I think will be really good for the sport in the future. And it's easier to bring like juniors, and that you feel like, I mean, it is the same sports, yes, like different distances. It have been like a bit too separated and too many different championships before. So I think this will be a really good move.
Yeah, I hope that this brings the or brings up a better standing for the World Championships. So it's like you have the UTMB, you have the Western States, and you have a World Championship, and you have to be there. It's just every year or every second year there is a big event, and everybody wants to go there. And when you did this race, I just ask the other way around. When you're racing, are you what kind of racer are you? Are you pushing hard from the beginning, or are you a tactical racer? Or how do you plan your race?
I think, I'm quite aggressive, but on the other hand, I'm also trying to like, okay, put the pace like, oh, this feels sustainable, kind of. I mean, of course, you always slow down a little bit, but I think I'm like, maybe that's on track, but even in a long race, I like to, like, I can't just like, okay, I'm going to do my own pace, my own race. Of course, I go with people, and if I want to win a race, for example, I can't let someone go really far ahead, because you don't know, like, then you just expect that people to blow up, and you can't expect that. Like, you have to be a bit like racing people if you want to place well as well.
Okay.
In my mind, I think that's a more fun way than to be like, okay, I'm just doing my own race, because that's a bit boring. Then I could do a time trial instead, or whatever. Just do the course by myself. It's actually that we're running together, and yes.
Yeah. Now, I ask because there let's say if you look to a race like Istria 100, there you have the mountainish part in the beginning, and at the middle it stops more or less, and then you have the flat parts for the second half. And there are racers who say, okay, I have to push hard in the beginning because I'm not this great racer when it comes to the flattish part. And if you say, okay, I'm not this uphill downhill, I'm not that good at this part, maybe I have to hold back and try to push in the later race. Is there something like that, or do you just go full gas?
No,
Let's
but
see
I
if
mean,
it
I think I
works.
do each part as well as I can, and then, because that will be every race. Yeah, I mean, every distance, like you set out in a pace, you can, it's like, okay, now I can do it well if I start in this, because you can't start too fast or too slow, like, and then sometimes you blow up anyways, but that's other, like, maybe not because you started too fast, but you have something, I think, internal that feels like, okay, this is right for the day, because that could be different as well. It's different every day. Some days it's like, oh no, I can't start in that pace, because it's like, oh, I have maximum heart rate now. And some other days it feels like super easy, and it's like, oh, I can actually run this whole uphill. And other days, like, no, I need to hike here, otherwise it will be, my heart rate will go crazy. So I think that's an internal judgment all the time, like, that you feel like, okay, can I push more, or do I need to ease back a bit to finish well, and you know, conserve and maximize your energy and your power. But I think at each part, it's you just do your best, and try there in a sustainable way for the race.
Yeah. Now, is there do you have an advantage from your former life as track and field athlete to recover fast if you go up with your heart rate a little bit too high, that you can bring it back down? Because I heard from athletes who say, okay, I have to control my heart rate this close, because if I'm over the top, then I'm gone.
No, I think that's how well trained you are from all sports. So it's nothing. I actually felt like I had a bit. I mean, you don't have super high VO2 max as a flat runner, so so that was, I was lacking a little bit, and of course I was older as well, so because I haven't done too much just uphill, and then it's just VO2 max. If you compare maybe for a cross country skier, I have a much higher VO2 max because track is a lot of technique and speed, and I mean, of course, you need quite good, but not maybe as good as an uphill athlete or like ski mountaineer or anything. So I think I was lacking something there. But then on the other hand, I have some like durability, which I don't know. Like you don't know that before you start. I think running long or ultras, even like people starting the marathon, you don't really know there before if you can move up from maybe 10K or half, and even to the ultras. It's and and I just had that durability from the beginning that I felt like it was working well for a long time. And I don't know if that's like been training my entire life, or that I have a good like metabolism, like I have a good fat burning capacity, and like, or if it's just like good luck, because now I felt I have struggled a little bit, like these years. So it's not so, it was so easy from the beginning, and now I have a hard time to find it again, that durability that you can keep going and don't like hit the wall in an ultra.
Yeah. Do you think in the last 3, 4, 5 years the competition got much harder, or because the sport is now more in it's not in the focus, it's not like soccer, it's but there are much more races, there are much more runners all over the place, and it's more professional.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it got much more competition, and more of the races have a high standard. So that's. But for me personally, also, it's like I'm not the same as I was like 4 years ago. Like I'm trying to get back there. So so it's both way. I think when it gets harder competition, and I haven't gotten back to my old form, the gap gets like really big at times. But I hope to, but it's so cool to see that it's getting that more dense, and short it's like so many in the tops, and it's not like one person that is good and then it's a huge distance that it switch around. So it's a really good development, I would say.
It's more competitive, and there is for the cheering crowd, I think the last 2 or 3 years were great.
Yeah, it makes it
because
so much more interesting.
The whole live coverage, the whole e-bikes following the leaders with that really great camera stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
what's going on in that field, and so I think this whole trail and long distance stuff will get on a broader will get a broader audience in the next 2 or 3 years. When you moved up from the shorter distance, from the shorter long distance races to the long distance races, there is there's a break even in road running. From I think the spot is the half marathon, when when the races get longer than half marathon, you have to think about nutrition. You have to eat and to drink something, even if you do a marathon. And in trail, there is you have to have a trail bag, and you have your nutrition, and you have your I don't know, your emergency blanket, and I don't know, stuff. Do you what was it hard for you to learn the whole nutrition and backpacking stuff in the beginning, or was it just natural?
I think, I mean, I learned more, but I have never had any problems really like eating in races or.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, in the beginning, I probably ate too little because didn't really know this. Like, okay, you're supposed to eat this many carbs, blah blah blah, an hour. That I just took some gels at each aid station, and as I kept going to the next, and it worked out well because I also had like a good endurance. So I think then I didn't think of it too much. I just like took whatever and spread it out and ate it up to the next one and kept going, kind of. It's like and that's a little bit my same strategy now. That but I think I tried, especially I notice now when coming back, when the endurance is a bit less good. I think I need to eat a little bit more in races to keep the pace and have a good energy the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. So no, I
Okay.
guess I mean, it's nice to not run with a bunch of stuff. Like, I think that was really nice now, Black Canyon. It's like, oh, it's no mandatory gear. You just can go
Yeah.
with the belt, because sometimes it's way too much crap you have to carry around. But yeah, no,
Yeah, that's a big difference in the US races to the European races. And I think in the most US races, if you have maybe a belt and shoes,
yeah,
it's okay. It's
yeah,
okay. Uh, just wear. You have to wear anything. A race, a t-shirt, and okay. Uh, and in Austria or in Europe, you have to carry, I think, 2 kilograms of stuff with you, which is okay in the Alps because, yeah, you never know.
yeah,
Uh, uh, but I'm a bit surprised because when I go out in a race, uh, when I eat too less stuff, it kills me. So I just know every 30 minutes I have to have something in my mouth, a gel, a bar, whatsoever. I need the calories in there, uh, and I'm surprised that you never thought a lot of about this.
yeah. No, I guess, like, of course I understand, like, you're okay, you need to eat in a longer race, but I also think because I didn't have a sensitive stomach, it's like, okay, I ate some. I mean, maybe I really I made some bad choices. The first kind of race is like you think you can choose stuff and do some like nasty mixes by yourself, and then quite soon you realize it's good to just go with like sports drinks and gels and
Yeah, yeah,
easy things, like and it has to be quite long race to actually stop and eat something, because it's not so nice to chew stuff, and it's like sugar goes a long way when you at least do those races like I do up to 10 hours. It's not that long time, like, so
yeah. And you were in the gastronomic, so you can cook, and you were in the outdoor, and you love running, and then there was the logical step, I think, to do nutrition stuff, and you're the co-founder of Moonvalley with two others. Uh, was it uh, something you wanted to create, or was it more that you say, I want to have my race, I want to create my race nutrition? What is the main, what's the main goal of the of the of the brand, of the company? Is it race nutrition? Is it for easy jogs? Or for what's the
I mean, we want to have
the main thing?
everything eventually, but when we started, I think it was mostly this good, healthy energy for training and an active life that
Mhm.
we felt were missing, because of course, race nutrition, there is like, it's just once in a while you can eat like sugary stuff with some aromas, and it's awful, but it's, I mean, you're breathing hard, you don't really care what you eat, like but it's like the
Yeah.
most time you spend is your everyday training, like training twice, or people's like to have something easy to grab, that is still real food, it's like real ingredients, it's something you could have made by yourself, but it's just like not convenience to maybe always do your bars and your sports drinks.
Mm.
So we wanted to have something that was like organic sport nutrition that was still just like natural food, like that was so that was
Yeah.
the goal of both me and Mimi and Emily, and I think we all felt that was missing, like when we saw other bars and brands, and it didn't feel so nice. It felt like you just ate a candy bar, pretty much, a lot of other
Yeah.
brands, and
Yeah.
also when you read the ingredients, it's like you are like, this is actually not so nice ingredients if you're gonna eat this
Yeah.
every day, as you're like you are doing long hours, and it's I mean, sometimes you have uh, maybe a really late lunch, or it's like almost instead like for a good lunch, and or a snack in between trainings, and it's we just wanted it to be like something that you feel good eating every day, and
Yeah.
it's not bad for you.
Especially in Europe, I think in the US and in Asia, it's a bit different. But especially in Europe, there are a few brands in the last 20 years. There were a few brands, and that was, yeah, like you said, maybe candy bars are the best thing to compare it. And you have I would say it's premium ingredients in your bars. So if you, it's something, I don't compare it to my normal gels. It's more a treat. So fine, I can uh, I can eat it. So not I have to eat it, but I want to put the bar out.
Yeah,
Uh, I have I have to say, I'm in a race. I I'm more or less unable to chew stuff. It's my
yeah,
mouth just don't want to chew anything.
yeah,
So there I have to go with gels. But as you say, in the training and before the training, before it's great stuff, and it's the bars taste great. I I got some, not directly from you, but I bought some at the guys from
yeah.
Sporthunger. So we will link directly to your shop, and if somebody wants to check this out at Sporthunger, because you have a bigger basket of things you buy, just try it there. And you have I don't try this, but you have drinks. Is it a, a drink before, after, while the training?
Yes, it's a
What?
sport drink. So that's like has like a normal sport drink, like sugar, salts,
Okay.
but we
Okay.
have real berries instead of like just an
Hmm.
aroma. So we have one who's black
Okay.
currant and one
Yeah.
raspberry, blueberries, and then one apple. So those are all so good, and also really good warm. Actually, wintertime. I have them skiing. It's like a hot toddy. So I have never tried so good sports drink. That's the same, and that you could have both in races and training actually. But
okay, I just have to go to your shop afterwards because blackcurrant.
Blackcurrant is so good.
It's great.
It's my favorite. You will love it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you eat your stuff in races, or do you go with gels there, or maybe there is a gel in half in a year from Moonvalley as well? Is this the plan?
Yeah, we would like to have gels. It's just taking some times with that part, but we want to have like gels as well. No, but for me, it's like I use the bars pretty much every day in training, or as a snack, the protein bar. But in races, I'm the same. Like maybe really long, I could have some pieces of bars, but usually I go with liquid and gels in races. But I tried the sports drink in races, and that one is great. It's like really nice. So
I think all of your bars and your sport drink is are plant based.
Yes, everything plant based, organic. So that's the base.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so I run for Team Vegan, and we know we have some audience from there, so it's safe for everybody.
Yes.
There is no whatsoever in there. You should try this out because the bars are really great. I must say top 3 in my ranking of bars and stuff in training. There are just one or two gel brands which are also really great from the taste. But there are not a lot of them. Is this a side project of you three, or is it something you want to, I don't know, make your living out of in the next years? So it's a focus thing.
Yeah, I mean now it's a side project for us, but it's growing and getting bigger. So, but at the moment, when we grow, now we had employed some people to have it. So, sorry, I got this cold. No, but so we really, I think that's a goal for all of us, that it gets bigger and bigger. And I mean, we will always be runners, but maybe not always elite runners who races that much. So I think that lies in the future for all of us to take even more responsibility, even though it's like we're involved in everything actually in running the business. So we all are doing different things, and we know everything that gets decided and how we move forward. But we could probably do even more when we stop racing so much.
Yeah, and it's great for all of us who are buying this stuff, because we know the three that designed all of the bars and the drinks and so on. They know what training is like, what racing is like, what you need when you do this kind of sports. It's not just let's say some kind of big industry which says, oh, okay, you're doing sports, so you need blah and blub and maybe a little bit of this, and there is a fancy design out of
we really like we really nerd about that, both the ingredients and the taste. That's like the favorite part, I think, of the of course Moonvalley, that we want to develop good products, and we want to we so picky there, like sometimes they've gone back and forth a few times, and maybe it's like, oh no, this is not good enough. And then because in the beginning, like if you don't have much marketing, like your only credibility is to do really nice products that people come back and buy them. And so that's like something we're like, okay, we will never do any compromises about that, how it tastes and which kind of ingredients we use.
Yeah, there's only one thing. What I think what is there is this room for improvement.
Yes.
And it's the package.
Yeah, and it's actually coming.
Yeah.
We have a really exciting because this is something we think is like, of course, we want to be more sustainable, and with the plastic wrapper. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, we can't get around it really because it needs to have a shelf life for half a year. And that's why all bars are like that. Because otherwise you can't sell it in stores or anything or have it in storage. But now we're trying the first one who's probably coming out in the spring with a paper wrapper. So that's super exciting. We're actually having it now in the storage and see if it lasts. And I think we will have a try in the spring. So we're super excited about that. If you could switch everything to paper wrappers, will be awesome.
Yeah. That would be awesome because even if you try to get all your stuff back when you are out in the mountains, it can happen that one of the bars flips out of your backpack and is out there. And if it's plastic or I don't know what's the stuff made of, it's there for years.
And even for the recycling, even though it's not in nature, it's much better for the recycling. And
yeah. Now that's a great and awesome news that you switched to the paper. I didn't know.
No, but we are going. No, but it's not 100% yet. We're going to try it in the spring, so it's a new. But we're always looking for this stuff, and now it might work, it might not work, but we're going to try it, and also it's that's like it's so many things you have to look at. Like we say, first it's like, okay, can't we have like this just decompostable plastic, and then it's like, no, there's nothing that you have as a shelf life, and it's like, oh, paper, blah blah, and then you have to look around and then start over, but it's always a process, and eventually we will get there, I think.
Yeah. Is this a fun thing to do? Because I think there are a lot of business decisions or product design decisions which you didn't think of 2 years ago, and so now it's I have to think about shelf life, and I have to think about whatsoever. So totally new stuff coming up and has to be decided.
Yes, totally. Yeah, you learn a lot of things along the way, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, but I think it's a whole new field of experience in your life when you start to design a product from the beginning to bring it to the market. And especially the food and nutrition stuff is a hard part, because you have in all of the different countries, you have different regulatories, how you have to design and how you have to what's called print the ingredients on this, and that you can sell it in Germany, and you can sell it in the US, and you can sell it there or that. Is this sometimes what's called annoying to have this all of these things you have to think about?
No, but I mean, I think it's have been really nice with the European Union, because then it's the same rules with that with the organic certification, and of course we need to have some different labelings with ingredients in different. So you have it in English and in German, and then maybe depending on. But what has been a problem was actually Norway for a long time, but now we're finally there because they are not in the European Union, and then you have to apply again through their food administration, kind of. So So and also it's like Switzerland, it's outside, also harder. So it's sometimes difficult how you can get into a market, but that's also you learn how to do it, and sometimes you get a retailer and who can organize and have the right certifications to import things. And
we just talked to the Sporthunger guys, which do exactly that kind of stuff for Germany, to pick top brands or premium brands from all over the world and bring it to the European market. And they said it's sometimes it's a bit hard to repack or bring or talk to the different brands to, hey, we need to have this or that on the package that we can sell it. And sometimes these things are the harder part and not the production.
Yeah, totally. It's a lot of small things. Yeah.
Where do you produce all of your stuff? Is it in Norway?
No, it's in Gothenburg in Sweden. So it's with Swedish company. So and that makes it, of course, easier to access the whole European Union, and so that's and two of the founders lives in Gothenburg, so we're a little bit spread out, and me and Emily in Norway, and Mimi lives in Chamonix.
Okay. That's okay. Okay. So you're not just living next door to each other.
No.
So, do I have something left out talking about Moonvalley? Is there something you might tell everybody, or except of try this stuff because it's good?
No, it is really good. Yeah, and we have a new vegan recovery mix as well. I think that's the best vegan protein powder I ever tried. So it's chocolate, so that's really nice to have after training as well. And it's like gets super creamy and mix well with like water or plant milk. So that's also something to try.
Okay. And it comes into the basket.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm live in your shop.
That's good.
And you have except of the trail races this year, you told me in the beginning you have a skimo race tomorrow.
Yes, it's one local race here, and it looks like it's going to be sun, nice weather. So I think it will be a great day.
That's fine. So you are in skimo as well nowadays, or is it just a fun hobby?
Yeah, I don't do many races, but I train a lot of skiing in the winter. So that's like my main training, and it's still a lot of snow in Norway. Like if you run, you can just run on the road. So I do most training hours on skis still.
Okay, yeah. So you're not just based in Norway. You live in Norway.
Yes.
Because some runner are based in wheresoever and traveling around the world all of the year, because they are in a training camp in Kenya, and they are in a training camp in I don't know where.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're really in
Yeah.
Norway.
I'm really here. Yes.
Okay, fine. I think I have everything ticked off my list. It was a great talk. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and thanks a lot to talk to me. It was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. And yeah, good luck with your running this spring and summer. And yeah.
Thank you.
What are you
I
doing? Do you
hope
have
that
any big race coming up?
I do my big races are the Mozart 100
Okay.
this
Oh,
year
nice.
in
Yeah.
Salzburg in June. It's just 1 week after the World
Yes.
Championship. And the second highlight will be the CCC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I got lucky in the
Yeah.
lottery, and that's why I do
Yeah.
this, and I hope that I can improve my time from the last
Good.
time.
Yeah.
I hope that
I might do it
it's-
again as well. We will see. So maybe we see each other there. Yeah.
Yeah. And, when I look at your finish time, I think maybe we see each other at the starting line,
Good.
and then you're gone.
Good.
Uh, yeah. Then great, and thanks, and have a nice
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you. Nice to talk to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.